What is up, internet runners? Coach Nate here from the Run Experience with my good friend Mario.
Yeah,
Mario.
I'm doing great. How are you?
Dude, I'm stoked because I actually got to snag this guy on a busy race weekend. It's really, really hard. And I wanted to bring him on because he is such a wealth of knowledge. He knows the elite fields really well. I mean, you have been...
I'm a bit of a nerd.
You've been bit of a nerd, but also this has been your job for a long time.
Yeah.
So I thought you could bring some insight and some interest into what's going on for the New York City Marathon, who is going to be in the mix. It's exciting with the American men and American women, especially ahead of the marathon trials. And I thought we'd have a whole little fun conversation about New York.
Cool. Let's do it.
All right. So, Mario, let's get things started off with who are some of the favorites coming into the 2019 New York City Marathon as being one of the world majors marathon events?
Well, let's start with the women because they actually start before the men do, so they'll be the first ones out on the course. I think the big question of the weekend is, can anyone beat Mary Keitany? She ran away with this race last year. She ran 66 and change for the second half. Blew everybody out of the water. Ran, I believe, the second fastest time in race history.
What was the approximate split for the first half for them?
I think she did something like 75 or 76 and 66.
And then dropped to 66. So imagine just running a 10 or 11 minute.
To put that in perspective, she ran, I believe, just under 67 minutes. The fastest half marathon ever run on American soil by a female is 66, 29.
That's incredible.
That's straight up that.
So she's the one to beat.
She's the one to beat. She's won here before. She's one of the best female marathoners in history. She's by far the favorite in the race, but there's a stout field behind her. One of her countrywomen from Kenya, Mary Doogie, is running her second marathon. She was 7th at Boston earlier this year. She actually has the fastest half marathon ever run on American soil. She's just getting her feet wet with the marathon. It's kind of a new distance for her, and I think she's one to watch. I mean, 7th at Boston, it's an impressive debut, but it's not one that makes you think she could win the big one, but she has that kind of talent.
Interesting. And how about the men?
On the men's side, we're looking at Lisa DeCisa. I believe he is coming back. He is the favorite for the race. But Jeffrey Kamworor from Kenya trains with Eliud Kipchoge.
Jeffrey's younger.
A
little bit?
I think so. I'm not sure the exact ages, but he's got young legs. He's got fast legs. He set the world record in the half marathon earlier this year, ran 58 and change. He's won here in New York before. He has great range. I mean, he's an incredible cross-country runner, world record holder in the half marathon, New York City Marathon champion. He's going to be tough to beat.
Interesting. And DeCisa has won Boston a few times, so he's in the mix. He had
won New York,
a very crafty victory last year.
He's a great racer, and this is a racer's race. There are no pacers here in New York, so it's just like mano a mano, woman versus woman. And that really benefits a certain type of runner. There are time trialists who can run really fast when they're chasing a pacer, but they don't know how to respond to moves. But you got a guy like Kamworor, you got a guy like DeCisa, both great racers, and that makes for an exciting.
So we got a lot of fun things to look forward to on Sunday. Well, next let's talk about the Americans, the American men and the American women.
Well, I think it'd be a disservice to not put the American men and women near the front. Not saying any of them are favorites to win, but it could definitely happen. So you got Jared Ward, who ran 209.25 at Boston this year. I think that got him 8th at Boston. He was 6th here last year. He was on the Olympic team in 2016, finished 6th in the Olympic Games. Another great racer, tactically very sound, very mature, very patient. He really wants to get on the podium here. And if that's
a big deal.
If it's a 208, 210 type of race, he can be on the podium. If it's like a 205, 206 type of race like it was last year, it's going to be a lot harder for him. He can't do that. But I think he's one to watch. He is
What do you think separates a 208 to a 10 day versus a 205 to a 6 day in New York? Is it weather driven or is it just the tactics of the group?
Both. Weather plays a big factor. It can be really windy here. If it is really windy here, it's tough to run fast. I mean, it's just a fact. But also tactics. If they go out slow just because no one wants to take the lead, it's going to be a lot harder to make up that time over the second half. Combine that with wind, you're probably going to get a slower, more tactical day. But if someone wants to have a burner from the start, and it's like it is now, 50s, cool, dry, not much wind. It's windy now, but hopefully it's not on Sunday. It could be fast. Really fast.
So, but Jared Ward would prefer that slightly slower, more tactical start.
Yeah, I mean, he was leading at halfway at Boston this year. And I mean, he finished 8th, and I think at the time he was, 209, I can't remember exactly what won the race, but he was only a couple minutes off. He was right there. It wasn't, like he was 4 or 5 minutes off the lead, where if it's a 205 race here, he's probably going to be 4 minutes back. If it's a 208 type of race, he's going to be right there.
Yeah, that's really exciting. Are there any other American men here who are kind of in the mix?
Tyler McCandless is going to
Yep.
be here. I had him on my podcast not that long ago. Tyler's a 212 guy. I think this is his first New York City Marathon. I like Tyler. He's feisty. He's not someone who is afraid to race, and I think he'll put himself in it early. I don't know that he's a favorite for the podium, but it'd be great to see him in the top 10.
Yeah.
Last year, I think there were 4 American men in the top 10 last year. You had Scott Fauble, you had Jared Ward, you had Chris Derrick, and you also had Shadrach Biwott. I can't remember if Shadrach's back here or not. I know I'm forgetting someone, and I'm going to feel totally stupid that I'm like, how did I not remember that? But let's go to the women's side.
Yeah.
I do know all the American women who are at play.
Well, the women are cooler anyway. We got to go talk to them.
Well, you got Des Linden, who's coming here, 2018 Boston Marathon champion. She raced well here.
And then she placed,
last year.
she was like 6th.
I think she was 6th last year. Shalane was 3rd. Shalane won here obviously in 2017, so it'd be great if another American woman could win. Again, Mary Keitany's going to be hard to beat. Shalane beat her in 2017, so she can be beaten. Desi knows she can win a big one. She's done that before. It'd be great to see her in the mix. Don't know how many more marathons she has left. She's kind of been on the fence about doing the Olympic trials in February. Seems like she wants to kind of go out big at New York and or Boston. So, I mean, this could be one of the last competitive marathons you see Des Linden run. So when she shows up to run to win. So I think she's going to stick her nose in it. You've got Kellen Taylor, who's run 224, 226. I can't remember what she ran at Grandma's last year, but I like Kellen. She's feisty. She will put herself in it as well.
And Sarah Hall.
She's a great competitor, and I was getting to that.
Getting to her.
You got Sarah Hall, who is doubling back after Berlin. She ran 222 at Berlin, one of the fastest American women ever. Big breakthrough for her in terms of time. New York, as we just discussed, it can, depending on how the day plays out, it could be fast, it might not. But this is going to be a nice test for her because she's going to go in there and compete. She's using it because this is what the Olympic trial is going to be like. It's going to be a hilly course. It's a racer's race. So it'll be interesting to see how she doubles back. I've got a hunch that she's going to do well.
Yeah. Can we talk about how unusual it is? I know that this is part of Sarah and her coach Ryan Hall's plan to do this double back approach, but it is unusual for elite marathon runners to stack high, the competitive marathons so close.
Yes and no. Also, don't forget, Sarah Hall, less than like a week after Berlin, she won the U.S. 10-mile title. So, I mean, she has momentum right now. Back in the 80s or so, late 70s, it was not uncommon for marathoners to race more frequently than they do now.
This is why I like this guy.
A lot of them will do 2 marathons a year now. That's pretty standard. I mean, back in the day, guys would do, they do 2 marathons, maybe 2, 3 a year. They wouldn't do as many, but they'd race again the next weekend. They wouldn't take these big chunks of time off. They were, doing the rounds. They were making the tour. And Sarah Hall is, in that way, a bit of a throwback to that. I mean, Patty Catalano Dillon, who is one of the best American female marathoners of all time, she raced very frequently and raced well very frequently. So it can be done. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out because you've got, for Sarah, 3 high-level marathons and a bunch of other races in a very truncated period, and that usually goes one of 2 ways, and right now it's going really well.
Interesting.
I also do not want to forget, you have Alafine Tuliamuk, who is a late add for the American women to this race.
I loved her podcast interview with you. That was one of my favorites. She is a personality. You should definitely pay attention to her.
She's a great personality. I can't remember what episode of the podcast that was, but she's got some amazing stories. She's from Kenya originally, U.S. citizen. She's not super experienced in the marathon. She's still trying to figure out that event, but she's an incredible road racer. She's won U.S. titles, I believe, from everything from 5K to 25K.
Amazing.
And she's a great racer. She was injured for a lot of the summer, fall, but she wouldn't be here if she's not fit. At least I don't believe she would be here if she's not fit. She's here with her teammate Kellen Taylor. Could see the 2 of them working together, but I think.
And they're both. Are they both Northern Arizona Elite?
They are both part of Ben Rosario's Northern Arizona Elite Squad out of Flagstaff, Arizona.
And he's been doing some special things out of there.
He's doing some great stuff there. And I mean, she's not racing this weekend, but Steph Bruce is part of that. Is part of that entourage. And you've got the 3 of them who've been training together. They're going to be training together for the trials. I think for both Kellen and Alafine, this is sort of a trials. I don't want to call it a tune-up. That's like downplaying it too much. They're here to race. They're here to place as high as possible. But they're here to be in a competitive environment and to practice that. So when it comes time to
because a lot of the American women are thinking about marathon trials for next year.
Yeah, there's 3 spots, and there's probably a dozen to 15 women who are trying to get those 3 spots.
Yeah. Now, we'd be remiss, especially in this day and age of marathoning, not to talk about what people are putting on their feet.
Shoes.
The shoes.
Everybody wants to talk shoes.
Everyone wants to talk shoes a little bit. Now, I remember reading an interview earlier with Brian Hall this morning. Sarah is an ASICS athlete. She's going to be wearing regular shoes. They feel very good that she just put out this very honest time, and I thought it was interesting that they put it out that way, that there's no asterisk next to their time because they're not using the shoes.
I mean, not to call BS on them, but I mean, she's running in a prototype shoe as well. I don't know much about it other than they say it doesn't have a carbon fiber plate, and I'm not convinced that the carbon fiber plate
Is what's
the
doing
only
it.
thing that's making the big difference. Like, there's a lot going on there. It's the geometry of the
It's the
shoe.
pink. It's the color.
It is the hot pink color. I mean, that's it. Everybody's got to have hot pink shoes on. You will actually see a lot of hot pink shoes on, even on the men's feet. But, I mean, this is all mostly about the Nike Vaporfly, big breakthrough in shoe technology, biggest breakthrough over the last, 3-4 decades or so. And we're seeing marathon times drop. I think the 5 fastest men's marathon times in history have been running in the last, 2 or 3 years. They've all been Bridget Koskei just ran the world record for women in Chicago, 2:14 and change, Vaporflies.
The same weekend as Eliud Kipchoge did his sub 2.
He's got his special Vaporflies on. So you will see a lot of hot pink and neon Vaporflies on people's feet. But, I mean, all the other brands are trying to make their response to that shoe. So Desi's going to have a prototype from Brooks on her feet. She did when she won Boston in 2018. They've been working on that for a while. It hasn't been released yet, but that's what she and Brooks athletes will have on their feet. I know from talking to Jared Ward today, he is going to have what is the near final or final version of what will be Saucony's new marathon racing flag, which has a super lightweight Pebax foam in it, has a carbon fiber plate, very similar to
That's fun. So there's the little secret arms race that's occurring. So stay tuned and pay attention
not
to everyone's
everyone loves
feet there.
that. If you want to look up, I mean, Des had some things to say at the press conference yesterday about exactly that. She's like, I wish this were more of a foot race than an arms race, but hey, if it's gonna be that, like, my sponsor is gonna give me the best tools to do the job. So.
Hey, well, Mario, before you get out of here, you are racing on Sunday as well.
That's word on the street.
That's word on the street. Now, I happen to know that this has been a busy fall for you.
Yeah.
You haven't been able to necessarily build up as you necessarily would have liked, but sometimes that can be a good thing. You come into this race not feeling the same set of pressures or expectations. Like, how are you feeling about your race?
I feel fine.
Yeah.
I don't feel much pressure at all. It was not the best build-up this fall. But it was good. I mean, it wasn't as consistent as I would have liked it to be. I didn't get as many long runs as I would have liked to do. I missed workouts that I would have liked to have done.
Sounds familiar, right?
Yeah, it sounds familiar to probably most people listening to this, but doesn't mean I can't race well.
Yeah.
Am I in the best shape of my life? I don't think so. But I think if I race smart, I can still have a good experience out there, and that's the main thing for me. I really want to enjoy this course. It's my first New York City Marathon. I was out here last year along the course, taking in the race, and I just was really inspired.
What are you looking forward to the most?
The people. I mean, people. I mean, there's, 55,000 people running the race, so to be a part of that is pretty cool. My wife, who's over here to the side, is going to be out along the course chasing around, so it'll be fun to, spot her along the way, our friends along the course.
She's in black. Just
like everybody else.
She's the one wearing the black jacket.
Like everybody
No one
else in New York. I think the green hat will give it away. But I mean, just the people. I mean, the people that I get to race with and share this experience with, but the people along the course who are out there cheering, and it's going to be a nice day. So this is New York. It's the busiest, biggest, baddest, loudest city in the world, and people come out for this every year, and I just want to soak all that up.
I love it, Mario. Well, guys, if you want to just get more of Mario's weekly insights, you can get it in the written word form via the Morning Shakeout newsletter. I read it every Tuesday. It's fantastic, as well as his podcast. I just listened to your interview with Christopher McDougall. Such a great conversation.
Most recent, is that the most recent episode? I believe that's the most recent episode.
Yeah.
Morning Shakeout podcast. I lose track of them.
But anyway, we'll make sure those links are down in the description below.
morningshakeout.com/subscribe. Get my newsletter every Tuesday morning.
There we go. And Mario, good luck on Sunday.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
Well, Mario, good luck again this weekend. And guys, we're going to be here all weekend covering the race. We're going to be putting up another video tomorrow just talking about what it's like to run the New York City Marathon, capturing some of this footage, some footage of other athletes, and we're going to be live streaming the race on Sunday. We are super stoked to do that, so stay tuned for that, and hopefully we'll get to see this guy whizzing by.
If I see you with the camera out,
Of course. And guys, another thing to always do is just check out our new training app. It's down in the description below, where you can get videos and tips on how to maybe run the New York City Marathon one day yourself. See you guys. got to go trick or treating with my 3-year-old niece.
That's cool.
She was a mermaid, and I was a stingray.